It's Kute here, nationally best-selling author of The Magic of Surrender, and you are the one. Make sure you hit the like button below. No matter how much you cry over the past, it will never change the past. No matter how much you moan and groan about the past, it will only keep you stuck. And sometimes we stay stuck in the past as an excuse to not move forward with taking action in the present and in the future. What you have to realize is you cannot change the past. It's done. It's over, it's gone. And no matter how much you beat yourself up and punish yourself and judge yourself about what you should have done and couldn't have done and would have done, it's not going to change it. So then you realize that focusing and fixating on the past and holding on to past regrets is an absolute waste of time that serves nothing. And you don't have time to waste, and the more time you spend on the past, the less time you are in the present, and the more time you're spending on the past, the more you're actually robbing yourself of the future, which you don't have more of that. And so once you realize that, the key is not whether you made mistakes or not. You're going to make mistakes in life. This is part of being a human. This is part of being a soul on the journey. If you were never going to make mistakes in the past, you'd be Jesus, you'd be Buddha, you'd have done it perfectly. You probably wouldn't need to incarnate into this human experience. You'd be floating in another dimension somewhere. So mistakes are just how you learn. And the truth is, life is a school. You are a soul. You incarnate into this human experience called life in order to grow, in order to learn, in order to evolve. Everyone is your teacher and everything is your curriculum, and life is a university and a school for the evolution of your soul. The purpose of life is to learn, to grow, to evolve, to learn the lessons so that you can become more of the authentic version of yourself and realize your true essence and nature. Experiences are the curriculum and the classroom for how you grow and learn, and they're reflecting and teaching to you and showing you where you are. Mistakes are just a misperception of the ego. There's no real mistakes, there's just growth and learning. And all lessons are repeated until learned. Let me repeat, all lessons are repeated until learned. And in this school of life, unlike high school or university, the universe doesn't care how long it takes you to learn the damn lesson. It could take you 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. I mean, hell, some of the Buddhists talk about lifetimes. I don't know if there is such a thing as lifetimes, but the universe doesn't care. You can imagine you're in high school, you're 16 years old in high school, and imagine that there was someone, and you looked over to your right, there was someone in your class, and they were 92 years old. And like, well, why are you in this classroom? Because I failed the test. Because when you don't learn the lesson where you are with who you're with, you keep repeating the same lessons, the same relationship over and over again. You get divorced, you move into a new relationship, you meet someone new, and you have the same dynamic, right? Different person. You tried to run away from the person, but you didn't run away from the lesson. You tried to run away from the person, but you didn't run away from yourself. Because you can't run away from yourself, and you can't run away from the lessons that you have not learned. You cannot run away from the lessons that you have not learned. So you might as well learn the lessons where you are with who you're with, unless where you are or who you're with is physically, mentally, emotionally abusive, or your life is in danger, or there's something toxic about the relationship, which might be a lot of situations. And so you can't run away from yourself. And when you realize that, in any situation, you stop seeing it as good or bad or right or wrong. You start asking yourself, why did I attract the situation? What is my soul seeking to learn? What have I been resisting learning? What is this situation or this person seeking to teach me? And then you start using every experience for your soul's growth and evolution. When you use every experience for your soul's growth and evolution, you can never fail. That past experience was a learning opportunity. That past experience was an opportunity to learn what not to do. That past divorce was an opportunity to learn what not to do in a relationship, how not to be in a relationship. And so long as you learn, you're always growing. So spending your precious time, which you don't have much of in this human experience, none of us know when that moment of death will come, so you're just really committing suicide. You're committing suicide and killing yourself by spending time in the past, focusing on the past and those things you can't change. It's a waste of time. Give it up. It's a luxury you don't have. Give it up. Let it go. So here's the deal. Look back at the past and look at, what did I learn? How can I use it? How can I do life differently? And where do I want to go now? then you can truly be empowered on changing what you can change and what is in your control right now. The actions that you take right now will determine your tomorrow. But if you're still looking back in the rear view mirror at yesterday, you're going to end up creating tomorrow more of what you created yesterday, because that's where you're focused and that's where your energy is. So once you learn the lesson and determine what actions that you can take moving forward, then it's important to forgive yourself. Because in that time in your life, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, you were at a certain level of consciousness. You were at a certain level of maturity and evolution. You were at a certain level of your own conditioning. So on some level, you couldn't help yourself. Because if you had known better, you would have done better. If you had been more evolved, you would have acted more evolved, but you weren't able to because that's where you were. So you can't beat yourself up for being where you were, no more than you can't punish your 3-year-old child for throwing toys across the room. You can't punish your 3-year-old child for pooping their pants. They're 3. They're 3 years old. So metaphorically, you were young, you were 3, you weren't as mature, you weren't as evolved, you didn't understand life, and so you did what you did. But now that you know more, you got to do more. So, because you made a mistake in the past and you forgive yourself, the best apology to yourself and others is not to keep doing the same thing and apologizing. The best apology to yourself and others is to course correct and take different actions. Oh, I cheated in the past, I'm sorry, I learned the lessons and I keep cheating. No, stop cheating. Now that you've learned, right? Now that you've learned, now that you've grown, now that you've understood, the best way to demonstrate that you have learned your lesson and to free yourself from the past, forgive yourself, and change your action moving forward. Folks, if you enjoyed today's short video blog, make sure you share this video with anyone in your life and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll catch you soon.